with, let's start. What is the meaning of reading a file, writing a file, and executing a file? So here we have Mr. Rahul. Again, Mr. Rahul is right here with us. And what Mr. Rahul is doing, he has a Linux box. He has a Linux operating system. And inside the Linux operating system, he is into its home directory, which is represented also by tilde. You all know that from home/users. And inside this home directory, Mr. Rahul has created a test directory. You all know how to create the directory. If you do not know, it is very, very simple. You just go into your home directory and write mkdir. The meaning is make directory, and the directory name is test. It is as simple as that. If you do not know about this command, try to remember before going on PTO. I mentioned that there are some commands which you should practice on your lab, because these are the commands which we are going to use in almost every class, right? And that is what we are seeing here. mkdir means make directory, and you can make the directory pretty easily, right? So Mr. Rahul has gone into his home directory. He has created one folder which is named as test, and inside that test folder, he has created a file. The name of the file is demo.txt, and you all know how to create that file. You can use a touch command and then give the file name, which is the demo.txt. Once done, you can write this file, or you can write the content into this file using the nano editor. It is as simple as that, right? And Mr. Rahul has done all these things. He has created this directory, he has created this demo.txt file, and he has also written down these 4 statements. This is a file, this is, I like Linux, I like Python, I love Cisco, right? Very, very interesting. But the more interesting part is, what is the meaning if I say Mr. Rahul wants to read this file? How Mr. Rahul will be reading this file? If you are on a Windows machine, because everybody is so comfortable in Windows, right? If you are inside your Windows laptop, and if you want to read a text file, maybe that file name is again here file1.txt, right? Or demo.txt file. What you are going to do, you are going to double click on it, or you are going to right click on it and open with a notepad program, right? What is notepad? Notepad is actually a program which is opening this file for you, right? And once this file is open on your laptop, you are going to see its content. It is very simple, right? But if I ask you philosophically, who is reading the file, Notepad or you? Then you must be thinking this guy has gone mad, right? Of course, I am reading the file, right? Or Mr. Rahul is reading the file. But if you think slightly deeper, can you read the file without the help of Notepad? You are going to say no. It means that Notepad is a program which is actually dealing with the file. When you double click on this notepad and open this file inside this notepad, or whatever, through whatever mean, right? Actually, notepad is going to this file. The file name is maybe in demo.txt, and we are talking about Windows now. We will be talking about Linux, but the concept is going to be same. We are talking about read operation. So basically, we are inside in notepad operation, and we have opened this file, and actually the file is opened by notepad, right? It is giving you clear and clean UI, user interface, on which you are reading this file. It is as simple as that. It means that if the correct statement is going to be that yes, you are reading this file, or Mr. Rahul is reading this file, but actually Notepad has opened this file. Through the help of Notepad, you are opening this file. Notepad is reading this file. This Notepad program is reading this file. It means that Notepad program has some authority to open this file and read its content, because not Notepad is reading the content, and that is what it is showcasing you on its UI, and that is why you are reading it. Interesting. So if I say Notepad is reading the file. This is the correct statement. Rahul is reading the file. This is the correct statement. It is as simple as that. But in Linux, how you are going to read that file? You all know that if I want to read the content of demo.txt, what I need to do, I can open this in any editor, right? Or I can use cat command. Cat command will take any file as the input and it is going to show whatever is inside the file on the monitor, right there on the monitor, right? To quickly check the content of any file, we use cat command. It is as simple as that, right? So who is reading the file? If I ask you a question, you can say cat is reading the file and cat is printing this output on the terminal, and that is how I am also reading the file. It means that Rahul has the authority to open that file, right? Or this cat program is also having the authority to open this file, to read the content of this file. This operation is actually known as read operation because you can open the file and you can read the content inside it. You can see the content inside it, right? Interesting. Now, the second operation Mr. Rahul can do on this file is the write operation. What is the meaning of write operation? Suppose you have this file right here and you want to add one more line. Maybe you want to write, I love networking, right? It means that you are changing this file. You are adding some content into it. Or maybe you want to delete this line. Maybe you do not like Python anymore, right? If you are adding something into a file, if you are deleting into a file from a file, if you are modifying it, mean adding and deleting at the same time, then basically you are editing this file, or basically you have the authority to write into this file. If I say, Mr. Rahul, you do not have the authority to write into the file, you have only the authority to read the file. It means that you can read the content using Notepad or CAT, but you do not have any authority to change this file, means you cannot add any line, you cannot delete any line from this file. It is as simple as that. But if I say who is writing into this file, Rahul or Nano, at the end of the day, what is Nano? Nano is just a program, just like your Notepad. Inside Notepad, you can write, you can add, delete, whatever you want, right? So actually, Nano Nano program is adding, deleting something or writing into the file. But yes, you can say at the end of the day, I am the user. I have invoked Nano. I am writing into the file. But if somebody comes to you and if somebody says that no, it is Nano, that you agree with them, right? That is perfectly fine. At the end of the day, Nano program or Nano application is dealing with that file. It is opening the file, it is writing into that file, and that is it. Now you must be thinking, Mr. Vishnu, enough is enough. We know, we understand, read, write now pretty well. Now, what is this execute? If you can just concentrate there, it is going to be good. And that is my next point is, yes, let's talk about execute. What is the meaning of execution of a file, right? So if I say, if I try to remind you in my first class, what I was saying that we have CPU, we have memory. Inside this memory, you all know that something is written in the form of 1010, which the CPU is going to fetch the command from the memory. It is going to take the command from the memory and it is going to execute that command. What is the meaning of execution? If it is say add, it will add whatever is written after two, whatever the number returns there, right? So CPU is going to take the command from the memory or the instructions from the memory and it is going to execute it, right? Suppose inside the memory is written print hi everybody. So CPU is going to see that. It is going to send the signals to your monitor to say hi everybody or hi or hello world, whatever, right? But why I am reminding you? I am reminding you this thing because whatever is inside the memory, it is a program. What is a program? Program is actually instructions in the memory which are read by CPU, which are executed by CPU, right? And now we are talking about execution of a file. The meaning is if I say that I want to execute this file, I have the authority to execute this file. It means that basically this file can become program. And the meaning of program is anything, any application which is inside the memory, which is in which is basically known as the program. If anything is, if you talk about program, it means that it is not passive. It is right there into the memory. CPU is taking the instructions from it and executing it, right? So if your file, which is a standard file, if it is a text file, you all know that you can go and read it. But if it is an executable file, then it's a program which can run into the memory, which can read by CPU, which can execute it by CPU. I know that most of you must be wondering that what this guy is saying, right? But believe me, and that is why I have two more boards simply on this execute operation, and I will be talking about it. Not, do not worry. But first thing first, I want to complete this topic that we have read operation on file, we have write operation on file, and we have one interesting operation which is execute files, right? But we are seeing everything from the point of view of the file. But the Linux operating system say whatever we have for files in Linux, we have the same thing for folders. And you must be thinking, what? What is the meaning, man? What does it mean? What is the meaning of folders also have read, write, and execute? If you are saying read folder, what is the meaning? Am I going to say cat and give a folder name and it will read the name of the folder? No, it has some different meaning. So we just understood what is the meaning of read, write, and execute when we talk about files. Now let's understand what is the meaning of read, write when we talk about folders, right? So here is a board for that. Now I will be replacing the file with the folder right here, right? Again, I have Mr. Rahul here. He has created, he is into this home directory, home/user. Inside the test folder, he has created one directory, test directory. How to do that? You all know. We are going to say memkdir testdir, right? And this directory name is testdir. And of course, Rahul can create many things inside this. So this is my folder. Inside this folder, I can have many files, maybe file 1, I can have file 2, I can have file 3, and maybe inside this directory, I can have another directory too, maybe directory 1 or dir1. And Mr. Rahul has done that. But now you must be thinking, what is the meaning of reading, right? If I say I have the authority over this directory, this one, the name of this directory is testdir. If somebody says, or if Rahul says that I have a authority to read this directory, the meaning is that whatever is inside this directory, you can see that. And what is inside this directory? Inside this directory, we have 3 files, one directory. So basically, what I can do is I can go into the test directory inside, right? And I can run ls command. If ls command show me all these files, 3 files and one directory, it means that I can read test directory because I can see the content of test directory. Interesting. This is slightly different from reading file. If I say I have authority of reading a directory, it means that I can see the content of the directory. This is the read operation of directory. I think you all agree with me. Now let's move to the write one. What is the meaning of write? The write is again very, very interesting. If you have write access of a folder or the directory, it means that inside this test directory, for example, say Mr. Rahul has write access on this folder or write authority on this folder. It means that Mr. Rahul can create more files here, maybe file number 4, file number 5, more directory here, maybe directory number 2, or maybe Mr. Rahul can delete some of the directories here or rename some of the directory, means file 3 to file 7, anything, right? But Mr. Rahul can do that if Mr. Rahul has the authority of write operation. So writing file is different, writing directory is different. It is as simple as that. The third operation is really, really interesting because this is necessary for the write operation. And what is that? The operation is execute. Here, the meaning is nothing like folder is not going into the memory. Folder is not becoming the program. Then what is the meaning of execute? The meaning of execution here is that if you have execute access on this folder, which is testdir, then basically you can access this, otherwise you cannot. But what is the meaning of access? The meaning of access is, suppose you want to write another file inside this test directory, which is file number 8, and you already have write access, suppose, or if you already have write privilege, or you already have write authority, still you cannot write it unless you have the execute. Execute is the permission, or basically execute is the authority which you should have if you want to write anything into this directory. Sometimes people feel this is slightly difficult to understand, but when we go on command line interface, these concepts are going to be clear. Do not worry about it.